Hey everyone, so here is a follow-up video on the video I did about 2 weeks ago about the changes we need to make in our NRD policies and general ordering process. So for those who missed that, basically that what happens and what happened with the iron scavenger is when we make something like over 90% of what we make in a batch, and that is a single, let's say a single product run, is made to order, right? So people place an order with us, we gather up the orders after prototyping and engineering is done, and we determine the batch size. That batch size determines the production techniques that we can and should use, materials, details, extra features, everything, right? Now, once we lock that in, we're committed. So for the 1989 Batwing, I've posted some videos of some very, very expensive tooling that we're making right now. So what people don't realize is that we're not a Hot Toys or a Sideshow. We don't make a whole lot of money on each order. Our margins are the lowest in the industry, and that's even after you consider the fact that we also do our own sales. We don't have any retailers we have to pay. We don't have any wholesale distributors. And again, our margins are much lower. So like 80% of what you're buying goes straight to our suppliers in terms of materials, molds, and all that sort of thing. And then that doesn't even account for all our cost for our labor, risk, website, PayPal fees, storage, everything, right? So if we're like a contractor that way. So you're ordering us to build you a house, you're doing a down payment, and then when especially in the periods when we are into production or ready to deliver them, like we are now with the Iron Scavenger, everything is done, and you cancel us, you're asking for money back that we've already paid out to our suppliers for your piece. So you're asking for money back that's already been spent. That means the money we pay you back at the current with the current rules as our own money. And that means, and then people are like, but you can resell it, right? Yes, but we're doing very low volume, so sales are slow, and all the money we've spent managing your order, chasing down payments, having the thing made, the financing for everything for your order, storage for your order has already been spent again. So if we are able to resell it, then we're already selling the canceled order at a loss, right? So we can do that no more, especially with something like the Iron Scavenger, where there is a Chinese knockoff coming with cheaper materials and out of scale, smaller unit. And people just jump ship in a week. We had over a dozen people who lost their jobs or had other issues. And I'm sure there were a few that were of that was true, but not a dozen. So now, and I've been getting messages today that Hot Toys is also teasing the Batwing. Yeah, okay, that's a 12 scale one, and looks kind of cheap with quite a few inaccuracies, including the canopy and the paint job and all that sort of thing. So I'm not worried about that, but we are in production. So the money you have sent us in your down payments and everything is being spent right now to make your order. We wanted to have, we've listened to all your suggestions and feedback on this, and we wanted to come up with a new arrangement that it doesn't seem too heavy on the community, but doesn't have as much of a financial impact on us either. So here's what we come up with. So basically our NRDs, which was $100 across the board, is now going to be 10% NRD with a minimum of $100. And that NRD amount will stay the same, so the 10% NRD up until the time that we are going into production. So for the Batwing and the 1966, we've spent over a year in pre-development prototyping. The same for, like, say, the snow speeder now, right? So that would still be in that same 10% NRD range. As soon as we go into production, we will now start emailing everybody who has placed a pre-order and give them a window, say 48 hours or a week, I don't know yet, to cancel their order if they're not sure. Then they can still cancel it for the 10% rule. And if they do not get to that, if they do not respond, then their NRD will move up to 30%. So That's still nowhere enough to cover the 80% of what you're paying us to cover the cost for your specific unit. But I'm going to be reserving that money and creating like a small insurance fund for the group that will create sort of a cushion. We're still taking a lot of risk and we're still exposed that way, but less so. So we might also add to that if you are, if we're moving to the 30% down payment and you have not done that 30% down payment, so there's people who are behind on payments, then you will get a warning. And if you are not up to speed with the payments within a month, then your order will also be canceled. So that would seem a bit more fair on all parties. And finally, we're also changing or finally introducing what we've been discussing for a long time, and that's going to be late fees. So for all, and that's only for people who are way behind on the payment plans and the item is in stock. Yeah, so if you're behind, it can happen, and especially if things are still in development, it doesn't seem fair to charge late fees. But do realize that if you are behind, we have to chase you, and that takes more time and effort, and again costs us money that way. So I always use the example. Right now we have the DX Cockpit and the Justice Mobile. Both are sold out, both have a waiting list. I still have many units in stock. Well, not of the Justice Mobile, that one is now finally gone, but now I don't know, like 6 to 9 months after we marked it sold out. Now, a part of that is just part of the payment plan schedule that we have. And again, we're paying for your storage if it's in stock. That's all part of the game. But if you are behind and way behind on your payments with stuff that we are holding in storage for you, that we have financed for you because you haven't paid us, but the thing is already made, then we're starting to charge late fees, and that's going to be $25 a month if you are behind on stuff that is in stock, say 2 months behind. So we're going to be updating our terms of service, and we will be sending out emails for the products that have moved to the production phase. For now, the 1989 Batwing and the Bat Signal come to mind, of course, as well as the 1966 Batmobile, all the other stuff that's already in production. But we're going to do that after our holidays. Again, tomorrow's our last day, then we're going to be away until early August. So this is just an update. Thanks for all the feedback. Many of you suggested terms that were a lot worse. I'm going to try this and see if this is a more reasonable and still for us manageable way of doing this. But this is what we've come up with, and I think it's fair. And I just wanted to let you know. So, bye.